That I keep hearing here, and I think you'd have to agree, would be that the capitalistic system in America is the system that we have to deal with, and the problem with it is that we don't have any blacks operating in it. I wonder if we would have the same kind of feeling about the capitalistic system if we were the capitalists and somebody else was sitting outside. I think we would begin then.
I would be against it.
I think that, well, Stokely says he'd be against it, and
Somebody is exploiting me. I don't care whether he's white or black or red or yellow. As long as he's doing the exploiting, there's something basically wrong. It's
difficult, really, to say that that people haven't been damaged by the free enterprise system in this country. The failure of our cities is probably a direct result of the failure of the free enterprise system to do something about it. When big business begins to move out and leave poor people to solve the problems of poor people, then you've got a failure.
Wait a minute, you can't, I'm sorry,
all right.
but you can't talk about free enterprise because there's no such thing as free enterprise. Capitalism in this day and age is monopoly capitalism. It is controlled by multi-billion-dollar firms, multinational firms. You know, it's controlled by the people like Rockefeller and Hughes and DuPont. Now, there's a real difference between those folks and the black man or woman who decides to open up a grocery store on the corner. That is not capitalism. But Richard Nixon has been trying to convince us that all we have to do is to get a little grocery store on the corner, and then all of a sudden we're black capitalists.
Well, if that's what Richard Nixon says, then I disagree with him. I'm not interested in small business as in those constructs, because it's amazing when somebody says business and the person who's black is talking about it, immediately it conjures up a little corner drugstore or a grocery store or something. I wonder why it doesn't conjure up General Motors for me.
It's not possible for you.
Well, I don't know whether it is or not. I guess I'll quit working if you're convinced that that's true. But I look at all the people around here, and we've got some organizational petitions that kind of keep us from operating together to change the system that we're also convinced ought to be changed. When I ride in an airplane and look down, and I see everybody protecting their turf. The National, this is protecting its turf. These are all black groups. Anything national is black, you know. National Association of Real Estate Brokers, the National Association of Funeral Directors, the National Insurance Association, they're all black. The white one's all American.
It's white.
The white one's all American. I don't know how that happens.
That's because we know our nationalism.
Well, but the point I make is when I look down from an airplane and I see each one of us as organizational heads protecting our turf, I said, what the heck? We aren't protecting our turf, it's their turf. We don't have any turf. So if we don't finally come together to get a piece of the turf, then we aren't going to have any turf to protect. And I think it is possible if we begin to talk about ways of changing that.
Stokely and then Nelson.
Well, I think that the real question is that people are not clear on capitalism because capitalism is a very vicious system, but what it does is it embroideries its viciousness with all sorts of elusive terms. For example, many of us would support capitalism because we actually believe that in a capitalist system, there's a chance for us to get the same amount of money as Rockefeller gets, because we're told that under capitalism there is equality of opportunity. So that we feel that if this year we didn't make as much as Rockefeller made, then we got to work a little bit harder, and next year we're going to make it. But if we carefully examine a capitalist system, we will see that it's based on exploitation, because the viciousness of capitalism, and the reason why once black people examined we can never be for it, is that under a capitalist system, the fruits of those who labor are enjoyed by somebody else. That is, those who do the laboring, the fruits of their labor, they don't enjoy it. As a matter of fact, we could say under capitalism that the fruits of the labor of the toiling masses are enjoyed by those who do not labor. And again, as black people, we have clear examples of it. If we were to get the fruits of our labor from slavery, just from slavery, all we got to do is go to Nixon and say, hey, look, you give us the fruits of our labor from slavery and we forget the score. We would be the richest people in the country, again, because under capitalism, the individual exploits the labor of the people. Now, people get confused because this is a capitalist system and it's a developed system. It's a technological system. So they combine capitalism with technology and development, and they think that there is no other possible way to develop. This rapid terms of development without going through the capitalist route. But certainly we have examples that show the opposite of that. China is a clear example of that. Cuba is, North Korea, North Vietnam. These countries certainly in Africa, where countries have chosen the socialist path, such as Tanzania, Guinea, Congo, Brazzaville, Algeria, we see that there is another way to develop and get the same type of things that we have under the capitalist system, but in a system that does not exploit each other, where all of us work and the fruits of our labor are divided evenly. Let me show you how backward capitalism is. It's a backward system. We could make two statements about capitalism to show how backward it is. About America. America's a capitalist country. It's thoroughly capitalist. It's an imperialist country. But we could say that, number one, America is the most technologically advanced country in the world. And that's an undeniable fact. It's a truism. It's a truism. America is the most scientifically developed country in the world. And right under that, we could say a second fact, which will show you how backward America is. We could say that America, in 1945, made for her people better cars than she does in 1973. And if you analyze this, you'll see how vicious the system is, because here's America with its great technological skills, its great scientific ability, and rather than making a safe car for people that will last 20 years, which they can do with the scientific knowledge that's at their fingertip, they rather take this knowledge and build a car which will break down every 2 years, so you're forced to buy another car. Thus, you see, under capitalism, what they do is they take their scientific skills, and rather than using it for the benefit of the people, they use it to further exploit the people. And certainly this type of system is too backward.